What's up with the knitting thing? Where did that come from?
So my mom taught me to knit when I was 5, and we sort of did a lot of crafting whenever we had the materials. And then when I was 18 in college, I took a freshman class that was on like how to be a college student. And I took my first learning test. And they were like, okay, so you have the most different learning style. It's called body kinesic, and you code things in through movement. I was like, okay. So I went out and I bought a book stand and some knitting needles, and I just knit my way through life. When I got on the internet, like I'm hyperlexive, which is actually a form of dyslexia. It's just the good one. But I have always had to do something with my hands to like keep the words on the page, keep my brain on the page. And so when I got online and I would read parts of other people's books out loud because I'm not trying to be a cult leader and make it all about me, I would be knitting. And then it turned out that people were really obsessed with the knitting. And I was like, okay, I can do this all the time. And now it's become a cool thing. I chose the name Knitting Cult Lady because that's what people were calling me. And it has sort of become a thing where we're just knitting this all together. We're taking out the bad stuff, we're knitting stuff together. I make jewelry now. I make these collars that are called love bomb collars, where I crochet or
Oh, that's
knit onto
cool.
existing jewelry. And then I teach people about what love bombing is. And so it has kind of become a nice full circle to my brand.
What are you knitting right now?
I'm knitting what we call a cult coat. It's just a coat made out of fuzzy stuff. And when I was watching Taylor Swift perform Karma, I was like, I think I can knit something like that. And so I started doing it.
I think it's neat
I
how
know.
how like part of your deconstruction and like finding your own identity is like experimenting with looking different ways and fashion and
Mhm.
whatnot. And
Yeah,
like
you
we're actually gonna after this show we're gonna demagify Sarah here because
And
I'm
my
I'm a
hair.
hairstylist
Well,
and
no,
she's
because I
looking
don't want to be
to
MAGA presenting.
presenting and so
I'm
she
definitely
needs some.
not MAGA. Yeah.
I get it. I get it. Yeah. You
Well,
asked me if there was a point when I realized that I needed to like find my own identity, and that was after I wrote Uncultured, and I realized I was like, "Oh, I never got to form my own identity as a child." And that's what I need to go do. And it's called delayed adolescence, right? And we go out and experiment and do colorful hair but it's also been an interesting answer to me about culture because I'm not from anywhere. I was born in Asia and I grew up in Latin America, which has tons of African and indigenous influences. And I was like adopted by an Indian family in college, and I don't have a hometown. And so it was very confusing for me for a long time. And I thought I was just supposed to present as what paperwork says that I am, which is like white girl from Texas, but realizing ultimately, like, I don't know how to be that. So I'm just going to be myself. And
Yeah.
putting together my own clothes, I make almost everything that I wear, is part of my culture is everywhere, and I pull inspiration from everything. The Love Bomb collars started off from a Mexican artist, which is where I spent 2 years of my teenagehood that were very significant, even though I'm not Mexican. So yeah, it's been interesting, and it's also fun to be colorful, and nobody thinks that I voted for Donald Trump.